Hello there and welcome back. Today's news we have geniuses and their new platform Polestar, who was pushed by market to change their design, Chery, who might land their new production on jewelry factories in United Kingdom, and Germany, who decided just it would be a good idea to push another subsidies for electric cars. Alright, let's start with the genesis. Genesis is moving towards something premium brands eventually have to do if they want credibility long term. A bespoke platform built to make the cars drive like a geniuses and not just a nicer Hyundai product just with a different badge on it. Genesis wants a new platform that will work both for EVs and hybrids. And what's interesting actually is that it's completely different from the architecture they are using today. That's the important part. The industry loves to talk about ambient lighting, screens and experience, but in premium cars the foundation is still boring. Engineering, proportion, stiffness, steering geometry, noise control, ride quality, and of course how the car behaves when you're not trying to impress someone in parking lot. A bespoke platform is basically Genesis saying that we want to own those fundamentals. Furthermore, the Genesis is stepping away from its currently rely on Hyundai's Group eGMP stake board for EVs and other flexible architecture for combustion engine and mixed platforms. Those are not bad platforms, but those platforms come with some strains. When you share a base, there is a ceiling on how distinct your cars can feel, especially if you're fighting German brands that have spent decades turning brand feel into their hardware. The second big signal is hybrid comparability. A year or two ago the industry was all in electric cars, one direction, no compromises at all. I would say not democratic at all. But now brands are building flexibility into product planning because, you see, markets are not moving at the same pace they used to do when the world have a lot of substitution for electric cars. And don't forget that price pressure is a real thing, and the platform that can take EVs and hybrids in same time, it's not ideological, but it's a real practical thing. So geniuses understood that if they want to earn money on their new platform, they need to be flexible, and that's great because this whole episode is technically about brands becoming more practical and more flexible, and that leads us to a Polestar. Polestar is planning a new high-ride Polestar 4 estate variant, and the headline details is almost funny. It finally brings a back rear window, because the standard Polestar 4 is one of those modern design statements where the brand tries to be clever, futuristic and just different. And then a real life just asks one simple question: how do you feel about visibility when you're parking in rain, grime and everyday driving? A missing rear window is kind of idea that looks bold on a stage and quietly annoying in real life, especially at 7 AM in winter time. Top Gear framed it as a move to make Polestar 4 appeal to a broader audience, and that's exactly how I read that news. You can't build scale on Quirky. You build scale on products that feel normal enough to live with while still feeling special. There is also a bigger context here. You see, Polestar has laid out a roadmap through 2028, and other reporting notes it also planning to return Polestar 2 but with a renewed design, The point is not the exact model order. The point is that Polestar is trying to stabilize the lineup and move from a cool design project to something that looks like a function car company. So the Polestar story isn't just an estate version is coming, it's a micro example of a broader correction. The market forcing brands to prioritize usability again, because EV space is crowded and different is not enough in our time. Now let's move from design correction to something more political and more controversial, and of course it's manufacturing. This is one of those stories that would sound ridiculous 10 years ago. Chinese automaker is reportedly exploring a proposal that could see produce vehicles at Jaguar's Land Rover's UK factories. It's a proposal to build at existing JLR factories. It is still on early discussion stage, and it's being talked about the context of UK government interested in boosting production volumes and making use of underutilized capacity. Another key angle is that Chery is establishing an European R&D in Liverpool, and there are suggestions that this may facilitate the kind of agreement where JLR will manufacture Chery's cars in the UK. Yes, but also note that there is no formal deal yet. So what's the real story here? It's not China is taking over, it's just industrial reality. European and UK plants are pretty expensive. Demand is unpredictable and manufacturers hate ideal capacity. If a plant is underused, somebody will ask an obvious question. What if we will make something else here? But it's also symbolic. JLR factories are basically a piece of British automotive identity. And idea of them building vehicles for a Chinese brand is a role reversal that tells you where the power is shifting in a global market. If this becomes real, it won't be because everyone suddenly become friends. It will be because mass starting make sense for both JLR factories and Chinese automakers. In our case, it's Chery. So JLR gets utilization of their factories, and Chery gets a local production pass that can reduce friction in Europe and build legitimacy. Alright, let's move from China to Germany, because Germany has one thing to say to us. Germany has confirmed a new EV subsidy scheme, and the key word here is targeted. Fully electric vehicles will get highest support, with grants ranging from 3,000 euros to up to 6,000 euros, depending on household income. And importantly, subsidies apply for purchases and for leases as well, and that's good for them. The EU's Alternative Fuel Observatory summary says that program is going to be set from 1st January of 2026, so it's in that year, with application expected to be open in May 2026. Once the online portal is live, and the Germany has allocated 3 billion euro through 2029, supporting is estimated around 700,000 vehicles. It's a pretty big number. I would also highlight that Germany includes cars with range extenders in the program and repeats the same broad support. The scheme is open to all manufacturers, including Chinese brands. And again, reference the scale and income targeting. Now, here's why it matters beyond the headline, of course. Germany is basically admitting that the demand is still fragile enough that the government wants to stabilize it. But I see that as Germany trying to fix the problem that they has created a time ago. We're talking about time where you decided to push all manufacturers to go all electric. And what did manufacturers? As they go all electric, they had subsidies from European Union, and in America they had subsidies from the government. But you see that when a market is forced by the government, by people who do not understand how the market is working, after the subsidies went off, the demand for electric cars start dropping enormous. And you see, manufacturers can't return to combustion engines right now because they spent enormous amount of money on electric technologies, and I'm pretty sure that most of them is not in profit yet. And I see those subsidies as Germany trying to save Volkswagen Group and other manufacturers just to give them a chance to earn money from those electric technologies. And I think, of course, it's like on a level of beliefs, that maybe in 7 years or around that, well, we will come back to combustion engines. Maybe on another fuel, but still it's much more better than go one pass, only electric. It's not democratic at all, and we want a choice, and choice is everything. So this were all news for today. I'm Hugo Drive safe, and I will see you in the next video.